I'm going to show you how to beat the Flying Dragon Agheel in Elden Ring. This is the gigantic dragon that you might run into right out of the gate in this game. He is on the map. Here's where you start off, right in the very beginning of the game, level 1. You head out of here, and you go to the east-northeast, and to this lake, and he will be right around here. He'll come flying out of the sky at like Mach 5 and land killing a bunch of NPCs, and then you can fight him if you want, or you can run away and come back later when you're stronger. The choice is yours. But I'm going to give you all the tips and tricks you need in order to beat him, including a cheese strat. But before we begin, I need to talk about target locking. For this enemy, the majority of the time, you do not want target locking on. Target locking is really bad for big enemies because when you try to go underneath them, it'll start spinning your camera in circles as you cross their center point, and it makes it extremely, extremely difficult to do anything. The other thing that you need to know is that he is borderline impossible to kill without a horse. If you are level 1 and you don't have your horse yet, all you need to do is go from here to the starting area, follow this path, go towards the giant gate. You'll see like a castle gate between two mountains, and there will be a grace to rest at right in front of it. Go to that grace, rest there, and you will get not only the ability to level up, but you'll also get the horse. Now, why is the horse important? Well, because his movement is so good that there are certain things he does that will actually be undodgeable if you are on foot. There's one way you maybe could do it by playing around a certain rock, but it would take an unbelievable amount of patience, and you'd have to not mess up just about at all, especially if you're level 1, because at level 1, he'll actually just one-tap you with most of his attacks, not all of his attacks. The horse will tank some shots for you, but if only for certain attacks. But anyway, I'm going to give you all the tips and tricks for this. Let's start with the cheese strat. Let's go ahead and get right into it. So the cheese strategy against this guy. All you're going to do is get right in front of his face, stay a little ways away, because if you get too close, he'll want to punch you. And punching you doesn't really do much for you, although it's not the worst. The main thing here is you're going to stand in front of him until he either breathes fire or punches at you or something, does some kind of attack, and you're going to ride your horse back in, and you're going to smack him in the face. And then you're just going to run away. If you can't quite get his face, try jumping with the horse and then swinging on your way in to get a little more height to make sure you can connect with his face. Yeah, hitting his face does like double damage or whatever. It's like crits basically. So you just run in and smack his face and run away, and then just hang out. The thing you really want, though, is you want him to breathe fire, because when he breathes fire, you can just come in and just beat on his head, or come in and beat on his hand, depending on which one he did. It's a little dangerous to beat on his head. The safe thing is just beat on his leg or on his arm while he's breathing fire. And then as soon as he's done breathing fire, go ahead and reset, run back in front of him again. That's the super cheese way. If you do it like that, it's pretty much impossible to lose. The only things that you'll have to watch out for if you're trying to cheese strat him is he may fly in the air and fly over you and breathe fire. If he does this one, just look at him and fly to the left, which is his right. So left side of your screen, always go that way when he's flying over you to breathe fire, because he, for whatever reason, can only turn his head to the left, and he'll fly. So if you run right, you'll get hit. If you stay where you are, he'll get. But if you go left, all the flames go off to your right. So that's no problem if you know about that. The other thing there's two more dangerous things. The other one is he may like rear back and fly up in the air and breathe fire at the same time. If he does this, you just need to back off, and that's really it. The flames won't reach you. Just turn around and run away with the horse, and the flames shouldn't be able to reach you. It'll be fine. And then the other one is he may rear back up into the air and then hover there for a moment, and then come back in and try to pounce on you. Now, if you're doing the cheese strat, it's not really dangerous because you can just run away, just like straight away from him, and he just won't have enough distance to catch you. And you're fighting in a lake most of the time, so no, not a big deal. And the last thing you gotta worry about when doing the cheese strat, if he gets to wacky terrain, it's just gonna be weird. Like, he can get on the side of mountains, he can get where he's twisted sideways and stuff. Lots of weird things can happen with him. So I'm not really sure. In that case, you gotta play it by ear and try to make it work, or just reset him entirely. It's up to you how to play it, or just go in the lake and literally stand there and stare at him for like 5 minutes while he slowly creeps back into the lake. Whatever makes sense, whatever way you want to do it. So that's the cheese strats. Let's get into the hardcore strats. What if you want to beat him like a pro? What if you just want to beat his ass, okay? Here's what you're going to do. You're going to immediately run in. You are going to go to his right leg, and you're going to try to get in front of his right leg and just beat on his knee. Whenever you do this, you want to be careful, though. You want to just do 1 or 2 hits until he does something, and then you want to back off and come back in. Because when you are swinging a weapon on a horse, you cannot make the horse sprint. And if you can't make the horse sprint, he has one attack that will, no matter what, hit you if he catches you in the wrong way, in the wrong place while beating on his leg. But generally, you're just going to go in and just smack his leg once or twice, wait for an attack, see what it is, and react. And that's going to be the gist of the fight, honestly. But here's something that you need to know. The horse has the ability to jump, and the jumping is a godsend against this guy. He's going to stomp the ground while you're beating on him, and there's 2 ways to dodge it. If you react fast enough, and you're not actively beating on him so you can actually sprint, you can just make the horse sprint away. And that'll be easy, that'll solve that. But that's not really the safe strat, because if you're swinging actively when he lifts his leg and you're in the wrong place, twisted the wrong way, you may not be able to get away from the slam in time from his foot. So what you're supposed to do, the OP way to do it, is you can double jump with the horse. So you beat on his leg, he lifts it, and it's really forgiving because you can stay in the air so long. Just jump away. Don't stay near, by the way, because he can actually hit you with the momentum of his leg. So be sure to just jump away from the leg and just jump once and then jump again and land, and you'll hopefully just jump over the impact because it's just the ground impact that does damage. If you do get hit by the ground impact, though, it's not the end of the world, because if it's just the ground impact, the horse will take damage and not you, and the horse can take 2 or 3 of those things before the horse dies. But generally, it's going to be that you're smacking on his leg, and he's going to lift the leg and stomp it, and then maybe he'll lift the other leg and stomp it, and then he'll do 1 of 2 other attacks. He'll suddenly run forward, and that's when you need to be ready to sprint with the horse. And if you don't, there's no way to get forward in time, and he will hit you with a tail whip. And because of where you're at, unless you're already facing backwards, you can't run away in time either, and jumping over his tail is about impossible. So that's really your only opening to get hit, and that is why, when you are underneath of him, you want to smack him once or twice on the leg and wait for him to do some kind of attack, so you know if he's going to do that or not, and just be ready to react, be ready to sprint forward, and then not get hit by the tail whip. The other one is he'll do something similar, but it's way easier to dodge, and again, you're just going to run straight between his legs, right towards his head. He'll do a 180 and try to hit you with his face, and it just does nothing if you run forward. So that one's a pretty easy one to react to. The other big problem that you might be running into that you're going to have to be really careful of is you always want to be facing forward at his head when beating on his leg. And the reason you do this is because you're looking at his head, and you want to see if any flames start coming out of his mouth. If you are on his leg and flames start coming out of his mouth, it means one thing only. It means he's gonna fly straight up and back into the air and breathe fire down on your position. When he does this, there's only one safe way to escape. You have to react to those flames coming out of his mouth, and you have to run either forward, to your front left, or to your front right. You need to go in front of him. Just act like you're running away from him. If you try to go with him, he can accelerate backwards faster than you can, and you will get hit by the flames no matter what. You always want to sprint as fast as you can away from him, towards his head and forward, at the same direction he's looking. Go that way as fast as you can, and as long as you react to the flames coming out of his mouth, you'll easily make it in time, and you'll be able to outrun the flames. Flames are fast, but the horse is only slightly slower, so as long as you get a jump on him, you'll be able to escape. But remember that attack from earlier where he rears up into the air and then tries to stomp on you with his legs? That attack is now dangerous because you are so close you can't get far enough away in time and he'll land on you. But there's a really simple trick to do it. Whenever you see him go in the air without the flames, you know there's a chance he's gonna do that. One attack or another, which I'll explain the other one in a sec, but you know he may do that, so you always want to prep for it. What you're gonna do is run forward just a little bit and then turn around back at him. And then you're gonna run to one of his sides, the left or the right. You're gonna be coming in towards his legs, to the left or the right. So like at a front left or front right angle towards him. The reason you do this is when you get near the timing where he's gonna land, just go for a double jump with the horse. The timing's extremely forgiving, so after a few goes at it, you'll get the timing down to where you don't even have to be that good with it. And if you go into him, if you go to the front left or the front right into him, his wing and his side touching you doesn't actually do damage. The only thing that damages you are his feet and the stomp. And if you're in the air, neither of those can actually hit you if you're going to the front left or the front right, and he'll just land right beside you and not do any damage. That is how you dodge that attack when you're already close. So that'll take care of that one. But then that leaves you with one more attack that is dangerous. The last dangerous attack is going to be when he flies up into the air, backs off, and then starts breathing fire and flying over your position. And just like last time, if you realize he's doing this, just run to the left side of your screen, which is his right. And doing that will make him just fly right over you and not hit you with anything. And then you're just going to reposition and get ready for him to land, figure out where he's going to land, and then start running straight back to him. And one last important tip when trying to fight him like this, if you're coming back in on him and he breathes fire at you, if you're fast enough, you can just beat him to it and get under him. But if you're not going to make it in time, you always want to run to the left, because he has two fire attacks. One where he actually aims at you, and one where he does a sweep from his left to his right. So in your case, right side of your screen to the left side of your screen. So in both cases, the left side is safer. But with the one where he aims, if you run at a certain angle to the front left, he will never be able to hit you because he is too delayed on his pivoting to be able to catch up to you, and you'll be able to run forward and go right around his wing, his right wing, which is to your left side of your screen is his right, so right wing. You'll go around that and then just come in and start beating on his legs. So that's the last attack that you really got to watch out for. Everything else is just whatever. And that's everything you need to know about Flying Dragon Agheel. You may run into him right out of the gate and be completely shocked at how dangerous he is, and even once you get a horse, you may feel dangerous, but once you learn some tips and tricks and understand his attack patterns, he's really not that complicated. And the cheese strat is insanely easy. Like, if you just want to cheese him just to get the Dragon Heart item from him, just do the thing I said in the earlier part of the video, you know, just keep some distance and just wait for his attacks and beat him in the head and just run and reset and keep repeating until he's done. And that one will be so easy. I mean, you could easily do that without even getting hit if you just practice it once or twice. But if you want to fight him like a man, you know, man up and just beat his ass, then you have to follow all the tips I showed you in the second half of this video. I played with him for a little while. He was a fun boss to learn, and I can't wait to do these videos for other bosses. If you guys can help me with something, right now when I post this, what day is it? Like the end of February, I need to know what other bosses are really, really hard. If you guys have any bosses that you would like to see one of these guides for, let me know. I got done with Godric, and I'm not entirely sure where the map is supposed to take me afterwards. And as a content creator, my time is extremely limited, so I can't just go roaming for 8 hours wandering around looking for bosses. So I'm not exactly sure what the next hard boss is supposed to be. So let me know in the comments if you don't mind what other bosses you think are insanely hard in this game, and then I will look into beating them and explaining to you guys how you can beat them easily and reliably with a melee weapon. But this has been Flying Dragon Agheel. I already forgot his name. Agheel. Flying Dragon Agheel. That's all the tips and tricks I have for you. That is how to beat Flying Dragon Agheel in Elden Ring.